Avatar podcast is back. I've got my younger brother, Nick Weaver. You guys have seen him in a couple of videos. He was in our most recent was the Oscar video.
Yeah.
This is Nick. Nick, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. Like, what are you doing in college? Tell them who you are.
All right. Well, I'm his younger brother by 4 years.
Whoa!
And I'm going to Montana State like they are, and I'm studying film and literature.
Damn, big film guy.
Big film guy, and yeah, that's kind of it.
Okay.
About Nick.
Wow, that's all it takes. You know, we're not out there people. We're just to ourselves. All right, let's get into this. My brother has some incredible opinions about movies, TV, and we can get into some big fights. So I'm gonna throw a couple questions at you. We're gonna start with this one. We're gonna go a little television, and then we'll transition in no order. But give me 5 shows that are must-watch shows, like in your top. Must-watch TV, old, new, doesn't matter.
Obviously, one is Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, guys, if you saw the podcast a couple days ago, I haven't posted 2 weeks. 2 weeks with Andrew, we talked a lot of anime. My brother Nick's a big anime fan. I'm a big anime fan. So Full Metal's one for sure.
Full Metal
Everybody
Alchemist,
should watch that. I believe
I think it's my favorite piece of entertainment. So, go watch that right now.
Go! You heard the man.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Can't wait for that wrap-up season.
Yeah.
We love talking Game of Thrones here.
Love some Game of Thrones. Avatar, The Last Airbender. 100%.
Aren't you rewatching that again right now?
100%. Yeah.
You are, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And you watched it like 7 months ago, all the way through?
Yeah, I watch it like every year, but then I just had to watch it again because the writers are coming out with their Netflix series.
Yeah, what is that called?
September 14th. I think it's like Dragon something.
Yeah, keep. I was gonna look up the show they're doing, but I got Lord of the Rings up that I'm watching. So, name your shows while I look this show up.
How I Met Your Mother. I have to suggest that's my favorite sitcom.
It's my favorite sitcom as well.
Just because
of a lot of those.
When I watched it. And if I had to say 5, I would probably go with Cowboy Bebop.
You got 3 animations on there. I mean, Avatar, I think you could consider Western anime. I mean, it's just what it is.
I don't know. I think anime has kind of a bad label. Like, it's just animation. It's just a good story.
Yeah,
for all those shows.
If you are a big lover of art and storytelling, there's no way you can't go reach out into the animation and the anime world because there's so many incredible ways to tell stories in there.
Yeah, people
do not give a real chance to.
Yeah, I think people look at animation and they don't understand what the medium can do, and so they just think it's kid stuff, and they're like,
or they think it's all
if it's a musical,
tentacles and sex and big breasts.
And it's just people who just don't have an understanding of the medium. But you should really go check out those shows.
So the new show is called The Dragon Prince.
Dragon Prince. That's
about 2 human princes who forge an unlikely bond with an elfin assassin who is sent to kill them, and they go on a quest. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I'm down to check that
they
out.
have written
it's by the writers, correct?
It's by the writers. They're the same writers.
Cool.
And creators of the show.
I am down to see that.
Yeah, I think it's like, September 14th?
Oh, that's soon, this year?
Yeah, it drops, so I'm excited for that.
That'll be awesome.
That's why I'm rewatching up on Avatar.
Yeah. So, all right, break there in the action as I was reading. So those are your 5 shows.
Yeah.
Got a lot of anime. All right. We talked. Do you have a lot of anime in there? I talked a lot of anime 2 weeks ago. We'll transition to movies. So give me just a couple movies off the top of your head that people must see. What are must see movies in your head? What are your top movies that?
Well, I have a list. Always prepared.
Always. The only one ever prepared here on the Weaver Wire podcast.
So these are my top. I'll just give you my top 6 favorite movies.
In no order.
In no order. They're all kind of equal. They've all impacted me on a certain way, and I think they're all brilliant on a certain level.
So Enchantment. Robots, the animated film.
Robots, the BFG.
Oh, he loves the BFG.
That's the worst movie in a long time.
My brother really hates the BFG.
So 6 movies, it would be Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back. Obviously, most people have probably seen that. If you haven't, I don't know what you're doing.
And you know, you've been watching this channel, you know how big of a lover I am of Star Wars. He is just as big. I'm probably a little bigger. I read a lot of the books. I mean, you read some of them. I'm always bigger. Are we about the same?
We're about the same.
Yeah, we used to run around together with lightsabers, fighting hundreds of invisible opponents that I'm sure if you looked at out the window as like our parents, you thought we were
Insane.
We had a good time. Defeated a lot of enemies back then.
Yeah.
You should pick up a saber and go help out now.
So I'd go my favorite movies: Empire Strikes Back, Pulp Fiction.
Oh, you
have to
Pulp
bring it up.
Fiction.
It's a great movie. Doesn't do anything wrong.
It's fantastic.
So I don't know how if you haven't seen that, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, most of our viewers, I'm pretty sure they have.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction's amazing.
There Will Be Blood.
Oh, I was just talking about that last night.
Personally, I think the reason that hits my list is because I think Daniel Day-Lewis's performance, not only is it his best, I think, but I think it's the best performance ever.
Ever?
I think it's my favorite performance.
It's up there to argue. And I think that's my favorite performance of his as well.
Yeah, and not only...
He is so good.
Paul Thomas Anderson does an amazing job.
Yeah.
Obviously, and the movie is really well written, but he takes that movie to another level. Kind of like Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, but I think even higher.
All right. I was just talking about that. Showed my girlfriend Prisoners last night. We watched that film that I love very much, and
that has
Paul Dano in it, who's in There Will Be Blood, and we talked about There Will Be Blood a little bit, and Paul Dano is also incredible in just about everything he does.
Yeah. He doesn't seem as good in There Will Be Blood because of how good Daniel Day-Lewis is.
Yeah, but
I think he actually holds his own.
He does.
And I
don't think he holds his own. He doesn't outshine though.
No, it's all Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
So then A Clockwork Orange, which is an older Kubrick film. It's actually my favorite Kubrick film. I like it more than The Shining and 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, might be blasphemy.
I absolutely love A Clockwork Orange. It just blew my mind.
I don't know what it is about A Clockwork Orange, but I'm not high on it. It's definitely not my favorite Kubrick. I understand why people love it, but when I watched it, which was a long time ago, I should probably rewatch it. Movie meals, I talk about this a lot with a lot of my friends, where I got a new way I watch movies probably within the last 5, 6 years, and I probably saw Clockwork Orange when I was like 14, I think, so I was a little bit younger, so it was like 7 years ago. No, I'm older than that. Maybe I was a little older. I don't know, but maybe I should rewatch it, give it another shot. I did like it, but I just don't think it. I just don't love it. It's just wasn't my personal favorite, but I get why people love it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just impacted me in a way where I'm just obsessed with it. I think it's great, and I think the central performance, Alex. I can't remember his last name.
I wouldn't be able to know.
But he's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the performances are great.
And
for sure.
And so then next would be The Social Network.
Oh, and I love The Social Network.
Yeah.
That's an interesting pick, though. I don't think you'll find that in a lot of people top 5.
And it's because the script of The Social Network, kind of like, that's one of the reasons Pulp Fiction is on this list. I mean, the directing is brilliant, the acting is brilliant, but the script and the world that's created is almost, I think it's Aaron Sorkin's best script, and from maybe one of the best screenwriters. That's why it's up there. There's not a screenplay like it.
All his movies are so fun to watch because of the
of
dialogue back and forth. And I do agree.
Pairing
I think
him
that's
up with
his
Fincher.
Yeah.
And a perfect casting choice in Jesse Eisenberg and Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield should have been nominated
Justin
for an Oscar.
Timberlake was amazing.
He did well.
That film, every time I watch it, there's something new I find I love about it, and I just cannot, the world and the atmosphere that's created is just
I miss Fincher. Gone Girl was what, 2014?
2014.
That's been 4 years of no Fincher.
Well, he directed a couple episodes of House of Cards.
And he did a few.
He did a film in between.
But he hasn't directed. No, he did. I think he directed episodes of Mindhunter on Netflix.
He did. Yeah.
I've seen Mindhunter, really good. I really liked Mindhunter. But and he was attached to do the World War Z sequel with Brad Pitt, which would be really interesting to see him handle a sequel like that so late after the zombie craze dies. Was that all 6?
I got one more. That was 5. And the last one's Blade Runner.
Oh,
Blade Runner, I think the cinematography
Director's
in that
cut.
movie, the director's
gotta
cut,
watch the director's cut.
cut's the cut to do. I think it's obviously Ridley Scott's best film. I think it's Harrison Ford's best film.
Best performance.
I think it's his best performance. I think
I
it's
could
the
see
most
that, yeah.
nuanced. Every little scene has so much nuance to it. It's a sci-fi movie. You'd think it'd be this big action movie, and it's not. And the cinematography and how the lines of the light and how they are so perfect, and the set design for 1982, it looks still very modern.
Yeah.
That movie blew my mind when I watched it. Blade Runner 2049 is absolutely incredible as well.
Oh,
So
so
both-
good.
Yeah, I can honestly almost
And
say
Ford
both Blade
is.
Runners.
I think Ford's better in the original, but
It's his
he's
best
still,
performance after he's aged.
Yeah,
Is
I would
in
agree with
2049.
that.
Way better than he was in The Force Awakens.
And he's great in The Force Awakens, but it's, you know, he's got a little bit more to do than running around yelling mumbo jumbo and
Yeah.
being kind
So
of who he,
those would be my
Harrison Ford is kind of Han Solo. He is Indiana
Yeah.
Jones, but
Eric Decker
is a little bit more out of his wheelhouse, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
A little bit like him, I guess, but I love
Yeah,
Harrison
so those are
Ford.
my six films.
I like those. I like those picks. I love the There Will Be Blood pick. You brought up Blade Runner 2049, and obviously, as I mentioned, I watched Prisoners last night with Denis Villeneuve.
Who's just
And I think Denis Villeneuve is to transition here a little bit, I think he's the best working director today, probably. Like the younger guy. Like the guys
Yeah.
who are a little bit newer, him or Ryan Coogler to me are probably the top.
Yeah, I'd put him
Dogs.
over Ryan Coogler.
I would. I think
Just because he's
hit.
more, even though I absolutely adore Black Panther, he's not as established as.
He's got three really
Denis
great
Villeneuve,
movies.
though, hasn't missed, and for the
And-
last 3 years,
yeah.
when you come out with Sicario, Arrival, and Blade Runner 2049,
Well,
back
he
to
did
back to
Enemy,
back.
Prisoners, and
Yeah,
those
but
two
that
are
was-
also incredible.
Yeah, no, he.
Those both came out in 2013.
Yeah, so he's. I'd probably actually put him as the best new up and coming director.
Yeah.
Anything his name.
Those two though, like
I'm
those
excited
two, they're the like Spielberg of this generation to me. Like especially Denis when he's
Yeah.
doing, and he's gonna do Dune next. He's got a giant book of sci-fi and fantasy to just
dive in.
tackle, and that's gonna be
Yeah, I'm
amazing.
excited for it.
Now, Prisoners, guys, keep bringing it up. That's a movie. That's a 10 out of 10 for me. That's a movie that's absolutely on my list. If you haven't seen it, you must go check it out. I've seen that movie probably a dozen times since it came out in 2013. Rewatched it last night. I believe that movie is Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance they've
That's
ever given.
interesting.
Jake Gyllenhaal, maybe you can debate a little bit more because he does a little bit more of those type of roles. But Hugh Jackman, for sure, I think
Well,
is his
actually,
absolute best performance.
Also, that brings up to what I think Hugh Jackman's best performance is, and another younger director who's a more
You
established.
bring up
than
Nolan
them.
and
Nolan's obviously.
I think Nolan's
He's-
established himself.
He's
and
established. He's
transcended
yeah,
that now.
Yeah, I think he's above that, but he is obviously brilliant. Even though his last few films haven't hit like his earlier work, I think did. But the Prestige, I think, is Hugh
I love The
Jackman's best.
Prestige.
Yeah, that movie was incredible and
very
well written and
Yeah, The Prestige is underrated. Not a lot of people think about it.
Yeah, it's very
and Christian
underrated.
Bale's great in it. Michael Caine's great in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And
All
is
around.
it Scarlett Johansson?
yeah,
who's in it?
she's in it.
She's great in it. Yeah, I love The Prestige, and yeah, Nolan's kind of transcended. He just kept going up. Every movie went up. He hit The Dark Knight,
So-
that was gold, and now it's just not as good
What's
as
your
The Dark Knight.
favorite Nolan film?
Oh, I just watched
Put
the,
you on the
the
spot.
Dark Knight a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
So I'd probably say The Dark Knight because to me a director's job is to get the best performance out of his actor, and I do know a lot of what Heath did was Heath, but I think Chris Nolan also gets praise in that, and I think that movie is so great. But it's hard because honestly, if I'm gonna be honest with you, Movie Meals and Nick here, I like rewatching it. I was saying this to maybe you and a couple other people a couple weeks ago. Like Batman in his trilogy has become so pop culture saturated that it is hard sometimes to watch him without laughing. With his grisly voice, it's just been made fun of to death so
I
much.
actually think seeing The Dark Knight so many times, the more I watch it, the more that I think the pacing is really hit and miss.
Sure.
I think it's very erratic, and I think
agree.
because a lot of scenes don't carry the same weight, and they don't.
Yeah.
And even though when you first watch it, it blows your mind, and it's still a great film, but it has lowered. It used to be in my top 5, and it's probably out of
But
my
the Joker
top 10.
is still
But the Joker,
riveting.
Yeah.
In every scene, no matter how many times you watch that
Yeah,
movie, and
absolutely.
that's why it's so great.
Yeah.
And
it's
so
still a great
I would,
film,
I
obviously,
would
but-
say that. I'm torn between Dark Knight, Memento, and probably The Prestige.
Not Inception.
I forgot about Inception. Yeah, I'd throw in. Actually, yeah, Inception's probably my favorite then. It's that or The Dark Knight. Although Insomnia does not get enough credit for Nolan.
Yeah.
Insomnia is amazing, and the late Robin Williams is fantastic, and he holds his own and goes against Al Pacino. That's how good of an actor Robin Williams was. And that movie's great. That movie is fantastic. So I'd probably go those two. I forgot about Inception. I kept thinking Interstellar. Interstellar's his most ambitious film, but it didn't hit. He was trying to make an all-time great sci-fi movie, and he didn't do it.
No. And I think his worst film is The Dark Knight Rises.
I would agree.
And I think probably his best.
Well, that or Interstellar for me. It's one of those two.
Yeah, those two are clearly worse. Those two are mediocre, and the rest of his films are good to great, I think.
Yeah.
But I would probably. I'm honestly tempted to say Batman Begins.
Is really good.
I absolutely. I think it's
great.
I think it's underrated.
It's the best
I
Batman
probably would
orchestra.
have to go The Dark Knight or The Prestige.
Okay, so one of those two.
Or
The Prestige is
Memento
really good.
is a great film as well.
And
I
David
mean,
Bowie in The Prestige is so good as Tesla. He's just incredible. But yeah, so yeah, I'd say it's that or Inception. I haven't watched Inception in a long time though. I should sit down and rewatch.
I think
that.
I watched it a year and a half ago. Maybe.
Yeah, I should sit down and rewatch that. Okay, we talked Nolan, we talked some underrated movies, but we brought it up. So I've got to ask, because I know you're big. I'm bringing it back, guys. Moving, I always bring it back. Star Wars. We always go back.
Oh boy.
I don't want, guys. I mentioned if you've been watching the Weaver Wire, I mentioned early on that I wanted to get my brother and 2 other friends of ours on a Last Jedi debate. Because him and I both love The Last Jedi. I think it's brilliant. Top 3 Star Wars film. And our 2 friends, Caleb, who was one of them, who was on episode 1, another friend of ours, just it seems like they hate it. I think they said they like it, but didn't think it was great. But it feels like they hate it. Yeah. But so we won't get deep into The Last Jedi. We know you like it, but I'm curious what you think the direction Star Wars is going, because the divide online is so crazy. Because so many people hated it was so divisive. People hated it or they loved The Last Jedi. Very few in between. And then Solo was okay. People were like, okay with it. But now people want to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy as the head of Lucasfilm. People want to completely scrap everything. People want to do all this different stuff. They want to cancel Jon Favreau's Netflix series. They want to, or Disney streaming service series. They want to get rid of all that. What do you think? Do you think it's going in a positive direction still? Do you have faith in J.J. Abrams?
Oh, I don't know about that.
You don't have faith in J.J.?
I'm a little nervous. And the weird thing is I shouldn't be, and I'm pretty sure the point of The Last Jedi was to make it so we can have any type of Star Wars film. It deconstructed the tropes of a Star Wars film so that we could move forward.
But at the same time, still follow some tropes.
From the hold that we have. And so many fans backlashed that I have a feeling that JJ is just going to give the fans that were displeased
I think he is
what
too.
they claimed they wanted, but in reality that's what they got in The Force Awakens. So he's going to make a very similar film.
Yeah.
To probably closer to Return of the Jedi. Obviously, I highly doubt there's another Death Star. But something.
I don't think
there's
the
no
only
way.
thing I don't think will happen.
That's
Another
the only
type of thing that will destroy a planet.
The feeling in the beats is going to feel a lot like Return of the Jedi. It's going to be underwhelming, I think, compared to the other 2 films in the trilogy.
Well, that's where I think it's going to get divisive again, because I actually think that all the people who hated The Last Jedi are going to love his final film because they get what they wanted. I think for sure we're going to get the Knights of Ren, because it's one of the biggest things everyone's complaining about that we haven't gotten. I think a big lightsaber battle, and I think he is gonna retcon Rey's parents.
I
And
hope
that's
he
the
doesn't do
one
that.
thing. Give me the lightsaber battle. Give me a space battle. Give me the Knights of Ren. I personally want to see all that. Do not ruin Rey's parents.
No.
You need to just accept what Ryan did, and you need to be okay with it. Because I went into the movie thinking that was the most likely possibility of what happened with the reveal of Rey's parents. And I don't want Kylo to lie. Spoiler, I guess, but you should have seen him by now. Made $2 billion. You've seen it. But I don't want that. I don't want a retcon.
No, either do I. And I'm just nervous that the backlash from The Last Jedi is going to hamper Disney's ability to hire ambitious directors and not control them like they will. And so we're going to get, I think, a lower quality of director for the future as across the board who aren't willing to take as many risks. And I think that's going to just take away so many possibilities that Star Wars has, and it's because fans weren't happy that they got what they wanted, they didn't get exactly what they thought they would, and sometimes you just gotta have faith in the movies, because we're gonna be getting movies for the rest of our lives. You guys might as well try to let them get even more ambitious. Some are gonna miss. With ambition, someone's always gonna fail, but then you will never get the greatest films if we don't.
And
and it scares me that we're not going to get that.
And I actually, I think we will. I have a feeling JJ. I mean, The Last Jedi does deconstruct. It does go away from a lot of tropes. It also does follow some. Snoke has a very similar beat to the Emperor. Maybe just a movie later for the Emperor, but and there's a few things that happen that are similar. Luke's story is. I don't understand. People are upset about that. I don't know if you've heard this or if I've told you this already, but some people are upset when apparently Lucas had a very similar idea for Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
That he wanted him to be an angry, grizzled guy who lost faith in the Force a little bit. And then the girl, and it was going to be a young girl named Kira instead of Rey, and then they obviously took that and gave it to Kira for Solo. But I think episode 9 will be really good. I think it'll be loved. I think people who love The Last Jedi, or The Last Jedi, will be like, it's great. This is a fantastic trilogy, but 8's the best. And I think the other people are going to say, nope, it's 9 or 7, I guess. But I think we're going to end with a really great trilogy. I'm a little nervous for JJ. He's never closed a trilogy. He always opens all these questions. He's never closed it. But if he also was upset with The Last Jedi on some of the things, and maybe he liked some of what Ryan did, and he can say, okay, I've got a cool idea that's even better than what I had years ago. So I'm hoping he closes it well. I think that episode 9 is going to open with Kylo going around and gathering the Knights of Ren, who are all on the Outer Rim.
Interesting.
I think that's going to be what happens.
Yeah,
or they went rogue and he's going to convince them to come back.
And the one good thing is that, I mean, obviously, just like everyone else, I had an idea of what episode 8 was going to be. And for episode 9, I have no idea.
Which is great.
I have no idea.
Because
and
that's
I feel
part
like
of the problem with
most people
episode
have
8.
no idea, and I have a feeling that if JJ does hit, it's going to hit extremely hard because we were just so drained from The Last Jedi. Like, especially like half the fandom hated it, that it might blow their minds. There is a chance for that. So I think there's obviously hope for Star Wars. I mean, I think it's going to be, I hope it's great, and I think it could be. But I'm nervous that they're not going to take as many risks as they should. Yeah,
and they added Kerry Russell to the cast, and everybody's assuming is playing Rey's mom. That Rey's mom is alive, and if it is Rey's mom, I'm fine with that. But you need to keep it along the lines. She needs to be a drunk who sold her daughter,
which would be,
and that could be cool.
It would be an incredible.
That's what, especially, and I think they're doing a time skip. I think a time skip,
a
big lightsaber fight,
so.
and the Knights of Ren. Those 3 things are the 3 things you can expect. Yeah. Obviously, we are getting more Carrie because they're using footage. They added Matt Smith today. I don't know if you saw that. The guy from Doctor Who. And The Crown, who I finally watched The Crown, and he's really good. I've never seen Doctor Who, but I'm really excited for his casting in a role. So I think JJ will hit. But you think
I hope so.
So I think they are still going to take risks. I think there's a reason we haven't heard of an Obi-Wan movie, and there's a reason we haven't heard of this, like Yoda and Boba Fett wasn't actually really confirmed by Lucasfilm. I think they're keeping all that to the chest because I think they're just going to focus on 9, And then when 9 ends, Jon Favreau's doing a series on their streaming service. They've got Rian Johnson's trilogy. He's going to at least write and direct at least one of them. And their Game of Thrones writers are writing trilogy. So I'm saying let those guys do their thing, and let's finish 9. Let's end the Skywalker saga. Be happy with those 9 films, and let's let Benioff and Weiss run loose. Let's let Ryan run loose, who's a big nerd. Whether you liked or hated The Last Jedi, you should know that he's a huge Star Wars nerd. And I hope they do Old Republic. I want to see the Council again of Jedi. I want to see maybe like a Darth Bane. Go to Legends and borrow some of those stories.
Revan.
Make something. Revan would be awesome. Make some things up yourself too. Add something. Could you imagine Game of Thrones the way it's directed and shot and written with lightsabers? And instead of dragons, you're in X-wings. That would be incredible. Like that makes me so happy. And Favreau's, I don't know if you've heard this, Favreau's series, you know Jon Favreau?
Yeah.
His series is apparently rumored to be around the Mandalorians.
Oh, that could be really cool.
And we know Boba Fett, Jango Fett, not Mandalorians. It's actually true. They actually stole the armor. Clearly Boba Fett's a clone. Spoiler alert. But also, did you hear this interesting, well, I don't know if you heard, maybe you heard it, but through the books, when I was reading some of the books, through Aftermath, it actually, a lot of fans are so confused about Snoke, and there's a little bit of talk of Snoke and like mentions of Snoke and how that the Emperor, when everything fell apart, had a contingency plan. If he died, there was a plan in place. And Snoke kind of, from the way out in the Outer Rim, kind of got himself in there and kind of just became of power. He wasn't supposed to be power. He was just this guy that was kind of out there that the Emperor knew of, that was an Emperor or liked the Emperor. How we knew the Force and everything is still unknown, which I also think we'll learn in the next movie.
Yeah, I think we will as well.
I think and that's another, I guess I'll add that. It's another thing that we'll learn who Snoke's, kind of his past is. Through either a Force ghost Snoke, which I don't think people are saying we won't get because Andy Serkis wasn't on the cast list, but that could be JJ trying to surprise us like he always does. And but yeah, I think that's really interesting. Those books, they tell a lot, man. They have a lot in those books. So you're happy with the direction they're going.
Overall,
Like you're a little nervous, but you're happy.
Yeah.
And you liked Solo.
Yeah, I like Solo way more than I liked Rogue One.
And you don't like Rogue One.
Not very
So they're
much.
3 of 1 for you. They're batting.
Yeah.
They're 3 and 1. I think they're 4 and 0. I like all of them. I see the complaints, but I like all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Rogue One. Like, I can watch Rogue One and it's still Star Wars.
But you
movie.
love that Vader scene.
And I like the Vader scene, but I like the third act. But I still think as a movie, it's
Sure.
a disaster for the most part.
Disaster. I don't know about that. My goodness. So what other? You got any more thoughts though on the direction they're going? You think they should keep Kathleen Kennedy? You think they should keep the?
I just think they just need to stick to what they're doing and not get so mad from the people in their basements freaking out over it.
And big old Bob Iger, the head of all Disney, needs to keep out of it. I think he's part of the reason they kept Solo in May. He believed they could compete in summer, is kind of the rumored reports, and that Kathleen Kennedy wanted to keep December. And they really, I guarantee you, no matter how Solo was perceived, would have made a real profit if it came out in December.
Well, now we have to wait. Now I have to wait a year and a half for another movie.
Yet, though, I think it's bittersweet though because I think that's a good thing. I think because of how divisive The Last Jedi is, we really need a good amount of time to calm down. Let everybody calm down, and when that first trailer hits, which will be D23 probably, or no, Celebration. It's Celebration. When that first trailer hits in Chicago, people are going to lose their minds. It's going to be a little tease like the first one JJ did, where Kylo just did the lightsaber out and in the Force. That's really all we saw. We heard Luke talking, so I can't wait though.
Yeah.
We got time to catch up on all the books now and get prepared. All right, so let's transition. We'll get off Star Wars. Another question I wanted to bring up is any movies moving forward for the rest of the year you can think of at the top of your head that you want to see? Or do you not paying attention enough?
Apparently I'm not paying attention enough because I am not sure at
No.
all.
Mary Poppins? You're not a Mary Poppins kind of guy?
No, I am excited about Mary Poppins.
Aquaman?
No, I like James Wan, but I think Jason Momoa is a little overrated. he's a beautiful man, but he's a little overrated.
You don't
I
think
think-
he's like perfectly typecast though as Aquaman?
I think he could struggle I think James Wan could get him there, but I think it's more likely than not it's gonna be a miss.
Okay.
Um,
I think it's gonna be their biggest hit besides Wonder Woman.
um,
I think it's gonna be Star Wars underwater, and that's what they keep saying they wanted it to be.
but I am excited for Mary Poppins just because Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh,
Obsessed with him.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
He's a genius.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. I love him so much. If you guys didn't know this man, I mean, I am too, but he's definitely a lot bigger. He's bigger, big Hamilton fan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I am too. I listen to soundtrack, but this guy, we would die for tickets. Movie Meals, if you guys have extra tickets to Hamilton, you put 2 down below, send it to us via PayPal, and we will drive wherever you are, and we will see it. One of the YouTuber I watch and follow surprised his girlfriend with Hamilton tickets, and she's a big
awesome.
Hamilton fan. She just
Yeah.
lost it.
Hamilton's brilliant.
So you hate on the DCEU, right? You think they're just
I
not doing well.
No, yeah, I think they need to. I just haven't loved all their movies.
Yeah, I think Justice
I
League
think
was
it's
fun
all-
enough.
and I think
you
it's
came out of
more-
Justice League pretty happy.
Justice League was better than I thought it would be because I was expecting Batman versus Superman,
Sure,
but it still wasn't anything compared. I mean, Wonder Woman was a hit, and I think they need to almost let the directors do their thing because I don't think Zack Snyder is a terrible director. I don't think he's a great director,
Yeah,
but I
this-
think he's better than what Batman v Superman was.
It's-
And I didn't even I liked the extended edition worse. I think that movie is absolute garbage, and I think
hot take.
oh, it's garbage.
I think the extended edition is at least a little better. I think it fixed some of the
It's
editing
so
issues because it
long
was just long.
For not it's
Um,
no need to get into it, but I think the direction I don't mind the dark and gritty. I just think they have to they haven't perfected the character writing that Marvel has.
Sure.
Their cinematography honestly looks better than Marvel.
And
but the performance are a little bit more dry, and that's due to the director and I think due to the writing. And Henry Cavill's not a great actor.
Yeah. I think he's great as Superman.
I think he's really okay.
Oh, I think he's great as
He's just-
Superman.
He's Henry
Have you
Cavill.
seen Uncle? Is that what
Yes,
it's called?
I've seen Man
I
from
thought,
Uncle.
Man from Uncle. I thought he was pretty good in
I
that.
thought, I mean, he was very typecast.
Sure.
But
I like him. He was supposed to be Bond for a while. He was in the running for Bond.
Yeah. But I do think that if they can nail the characters, then they have a much better chance.
That's all
to
that really
turn
matters,
around.
is
It's
the
because
characters.
no one cares about when I'm at the end of Batman v Superman hoping Superman kills himself. In
Oh
the
my
game.
gosh.
When I'm like, Superman, get out of here! You're just not an interesting character,
Sure.
and like that's not what you want.
I've kind of traded my opinion on because I like Suicide Squad. I don't think is very good.
No.
Justice League I think is okay. I think the extended edition of Batman v Superman is okay, but that's a loose okay. I think Justice League is better. I would give like Wonder Woman and I like Man of Steel, so I give those a win. So that's 2, and then I would say a loss is Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman, and then I'll give Justice League like a tie. So we're like 2, 2, and 1.
Yeah, see,
Which is not a great record.
I give him like 1 and
4, 3, or whatever.
1 and 4.
Yeah. And I think actually Aquaman's going to surprise
Maybe
people. I think
at
Aquaman's
best-
going to be good.
At best, Man of Steel is definitely a cut above the other films besides Wonder Woman. But Wonder Woman
love
just
Man
had
of Steel.
Wonder Woman did things with purpose during the film, and it had a good character arc and it had a soul to it,
Yeah.
even though it still was pretty dark and gritty for a Wonder Woman film.
I mean, yeah, she's in World War One.
Yeah, I mean, so it can be done.
Yeah.
I don't think having jokes is the issue. It's all
No,
about
I'm
the
with you.
characters.
It's all about
Because-
the characters.
Because if they actually nail a couple of the movies with the cinematography style that they have and how
It would look
beautiful
amazing.
looks, that movie will be I mean, they'll just be huge.
And DC's had an issue with being reactionary, where the fans complain about one thing, so they throw a million jokes in there to make it feel better. And they've just got a new head of management who's in charge of their movie company now. So
they
hopefully
figure it
he does better. But you needed a super nerd who understands movies like a Kevin Feige to really handle it, because Marvel is a TV show and DC are movies that are some good and some not. And Marvel knows it, and they're killing it, and they know how to hook the audience. They know what they are. They've admitted we want our villains to be alright, but this is about the heroes. We're not here to sell you a Joker movie. We're not here to do and we are getting a Joker movie, DC, thank you. Not in the DCEU though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're running a little out of time, but I want to transition into one thing real quick, because we had mentioned it a little bit earlier in the show, kind of offhand, because you went, and saw a little clip, and I want the internet needs to know. They need to know. So guys, I brought it up earlier. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen with this new lens. One of those sets of movies is the Lord of the Rings films. And so I'm rewatching, but really watching for the first time with the way I watch movies now. So I'm not going to give much of my opinion because I'm still in the middle of the third one. I'm watching the extended editions. I'm watching them right. But I don't want to give my opinion until I've fully seen all of them. But I know he's got some big opinions on Lord of the Rings. So I want to put them out there into the internet world. I want angry comments. I want friends wanting to debate on my podcast. Let's hear it. What's your opinion on Lord of the Rings? Better than The Hobbit, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Hobbit's pretty bad.
Obviously. And so just going in context for my Lord of the Rings experience, I've read the first book and the first novel, and I think it's great. Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
That's the name, isn't it?
Yeah, Fellowship's first.
Yep. The
Then
book's
it's Two
really,
Towers,
I
and it's
love
Return
the
of the King.
book. And I've read The Hobbit, and I've really liked The Hobbit.
I've read The Hobbit as well.
And I didn't watch the films until about 8 years ago.
Okay.
For the first time. And
That was probably 12 years ago when I first saw them, so that's why I'm rewatching.
So I didn't watch them. I mean, I was younger when I watched them, but I didn't watch them.
Didn't have the lens yet.
I didn't have the lens, and I've
Same
watched
as
it
me.
again recently.
A couple years ago, a year ago.
2 years ago, ish.
With a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah,
You watched it with a big fan.
one of them with a big fan, but
Okay.
I think the first film is borderline bad, and I think the second two are good with some great moments, but an overall pacing that it is sluggish.
And you watched the extended edition.
Yeah.
So that's why you feel it's sluggish, because there's just a
And
lot of...
the first film,
nothing.
I just think some of the acting's bad, some of the writing's bad, and the pacing I is just not good. I couldn't get into it emotionally. I just had a very tough time. I'm not a big fan of the first one. I just don't really like it. The other two are, I think, considerably better, but I don't think the third one is 11 Oscars worthy.
Well, a lot of people think the third one got 11 Oscars to make up for the second not getting more.
But for the whole trilogy, I just
Is the second the one you like the most of the
I
three?
think I like the second the most because I do like the fight, the battle of the Twin Towers.
It's really good.
It's really good, but it's also, part of me, this could be a lens watching it after I've seen Game of Thrones. And not getting the same depth that you get in Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones is obviously longer, but I think Game of Thrones handles their fights better. Like, I think Battle of Bastards is just...
Part of that's newer technology too, as well.
and filmmakers who have been inspired by Lord of the Rings.
And you can tell, you can clearly tell how much George was inspired by Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
when you've seen both.
And I think Lord of the Rings hasn't aged very well, so for me watching it now probably doesn't do it justice, because I do recognize that they were probably absolutely amazing when they came out, and I probably would have loved them if I watched them when they first came out.
I did watch them as a kid, but they didn't have lightsabers. What's the point?
Looking at it after, also a big part of it is everyone saying these are the best films of all time.
A little overhyped, yeah.
And seeing it being like, this doesn't even come close to Empire Strikes Back. This doesn't come close to A New Hope for me, but it's also Star Wars impacted me more when I was a kid.
Yeah, because
so it's really
that's
hard,
the same. I mean, obviously we're brothers.
But
so that's
personally,
the same.
I think the films are overrated.
Okay, but that's not. People hear that overrated and they're like, ah! But really, you're just saying they're not as good as people are saying. But I do enjoy.
The one that people will freak out about is that I don't like the first one.
So I lied. I said I wasn't gonna say anything, but I got riled up. So I'm gonna say something. I've seen the first two. I'm about 2 hours. I'm about halfway through the third. So I won't talk about the third. But I'm this. Obviously, we're in the same boat. Nothing without lightsabers or anime mattered to me as a kid. So I wasn't super into Sword and Sandals. Obviously, Game of Thrones has made me into it. So I tried to go in, not let the hype bother me, not let the talk bother me. I'm trying to go in and just be honest about the movies. And I remember liking them as a kid, but I just didn't fall in love with them. I didn't fall in love with that adventure because there were other adventures in space I wanted to be in. And I actually completely agree with you on the first one. I think Elijah Wood's performance of the first one is borderline garbage. I think it's awful until 30 minutes left. He has a talk with Cate Blanchett's character. Guys, I'm not going to know a lot of the character names. I know a few, but not all of them. Has a talk with her, and that talk is instantly when I thought his performance was better. Actually, all the Hobbits. I thought they were just horrible. And a lot of people, I think, will tell you, well, it's because that's who they are at that time. They have to grow and develop. And it doesn't feel like that. When I watched the second, it didn't feel like growth. It felt like they just decided to act better, and Peter did a better job directing them. Obviously, I think Ian McKellen's great in all three. I think he's perfect for his role. And I think outside of some of the practical effects still really hold up, but a lot of the CGI does not hold up anymore. And except for Gollum and Smeagol, I think that actually still looks pretty good. And it's crazy because he shot them back to back to back. He shot them all at once, and so pretty close to once. So I don't know. I think the second one is like light years better. I actually think I like it more than you. I think the battle's real interesting. It didn't drag for me, the 4-hour version. I really was into it the whole time, and maybe a couple moments, but I think Merry and Pippin get better. I thought they were borderline, get them out of here. I could not stand them. Now I'm enjoying them a little bit more. Honestly, I actually thought out of all the Hobbits, I probably thought Sam was the best in the first one. Not saying much, but I think they flip-flop. I think Sam goes from being kind of the better one to now he's just running around yelling, "Oh, Mr. Frodo!" the whole movie. And yes, I haven't read the books. I really do like the second. I think I'm really with people why it should have won all those Oscars. I really am there. I have not finished the third, so I cannot speak on it. I have to finish the trilogy. My opinion might change.
It's interesting because the third, the big moment with Sam, it's never hit for me.
I haven't seen it, so don't spoil it because I don't remember as a kid.
Oh.
From 12 years ago.
Well, that's absurd. But
Which
Sam,
moment?
Sam is just, I've never really liked him as a character, and everyone thinks I'm insane.
I might be less time in. The last thing that happened was Sam got kicked out of the party that him and Gollum are going. So maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not there yet, and I don't remember. I don't remember
crazy.
a lot of it. That I don't remember it? I saw it 12 years ago.
This is like the big moment.
I saw it 12 years ago. Maybe not 12. I don't remember when it came out. 05, 06?
All right.
Is that when it came out? I'm asking.
Oh, no, they came out in 99, 2000, 2001.
Okay. But yeah, I actually do agree with you for the first. I think the first is not very good at all. But I do like the second a lot. And I'm not done with the third, so we'll see what the third does for me. But I know we had one friend of ours, won't bring his name up, but he mentioned how he feels bad for people who don't feel Lord of the Rings the way he does. And honestly, though, my response is you can say that about any franchise you love, about anything ever. Because I don't like he's one of those friends of mine that doesn't like The Last Jedi. Yeah. And it's like I feel bad for you. I mean, you don't enjoy that the way I enjoy it. Like, that makes me feel like a kid. And I do like Lord of the Rings. I get the hype. I don't get it maybe as much with the first, but I'm with you there. It's weird. We fall in line on the first. Maybe the second not as much, but yeah. So I wanted to get that out there. I didn't fully mean to get my take out there, but you know what? I'll put it out there. I'm not afraid. Come on, comments, bring it on. All right, well, I think we're all wrapped up here, Nick. You wanna plug anything? You wanna let the viewers know you got an Instagram, you got a Twitter, you got a channel?
You can always follow me on Instagram.
Well, plug it. What's your Instagram handle?
It's NickWeaver10 _. He'll put it in the description.
I'll put it in the description.
But I also have recently just started my own YouTube channel.
I've mentioned it a couple of times.
Doing video essays. I only have like 4 out, but now that school started, I'm actually going to be able to hopefully get 1 out a week. And my next one, which should be out in a couple days, maybe by the time this is up, is my opinion on The Last Jedi and why I think people's critiques are misplaced. It's kind of what the video's about. So yeah, if you want to subscribe.
Got videos up about Tyler the Creator, we mentioned before, Theon Greyjoy, Game of Thrones, My Hero. I'm forgetting the 4th one. It's your channel.
I know. One's about Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul, that's right. All right, guys, yeah, go check him out, Nick. Thanks for
link
coming.
Will be in the description.
Little bro,
Yeah,
always a
that's
pleasure.
right.
Guys, you know where to find me on Twitter and Instagram at AJVWeaver7. It'll be linked in the description below, guys. Remember to please like, subscribe, share. If you're listening, if you're watching, just make sure to do all that. It really helps our channel grow. And thanks for watching Our Mom. Our mom is listening today, probably. She's probably the only real episode she'll actually watch with her little boys. All right, guys, we'll see you later.